G'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Sean and this is RFDHobby. Today we're going to be having a quick look at the xTool D1 Pro 20 watt laser cutter. Now more specifically we're going to be having a look at some of the cool things I've been able to make over the last few weeks or month or so. Now I do need to say a big thank you to xTool. They are sponsoring this video obviously, but they've also been very patient with me. They sent this to me just as the house burnt down. And so I have had this with me now for a couple of months and they've been extremely patient with me in getting this video out. They've been great to deal with as well, and the product is fantastic. I've really enjoyed using it, and we're going to have a quick look now at some of the cool shit I've been able to make. Alright guys, so here we are. Now I've got in front of me a bunch of things that I've made over the last month or two with the xTool laser cutter, as you saw. I will point out that there are a couple of things that I believe you should get if you decide to get yourself one of these cutters. Namely, the air assist module is really important. It makes a huge difference with the quality of work that you can put out. Also, a honeycomb bed for it. Now you don't have to get the xTool one, but I found the xTool one is just great quality. I couldn't fault it at all. And also the hood and extraction for it, which I think is really important, and I highly recommend purchasing those couple of products if you do decide to invest in one of these laser cutters. Now, you've seen me do a laser cutter on the channel before. That was a 10 watt. Now this one is a 20 watt, so that gives me a little bit more speed and I think potentially larger cuts, so as in deeper cuts that I might be able to do. The machine itself worked perfectly. I've had no faults, no problems with it at all. So obviously I've jumped on Thingiverse and I've had a look. There's a range of patterns you can find on there for free, and all different kinds of things that you can try out to see, you know, what you enjoy doing the most. The xTool product here, the laser cutter and engraver, will engrave on glass, acrylic, wood, leather, rubber, metal. There's a whole range of different things. It can also cut quite a few of those materials as well. Being the 20 watt, it can pump out a pretty decent projects easily in a few hours. You can scale up and scale down. So for example, this was a simple morning project. It's just a little lamp thing here, lantern. Now it does have a little lid that comes off as well, so if you want to put your lights in there. This was a great little project, but as I mentioned, you can make these of a different scale. So again, I've just sized it up a little bit there to get a slightly different one to show you there. Now you can do things as well, like say this wooden box here, which is really cool. You can kind of get a sense of how, how nicely fit that lid is for that box, and it looks great. You could stain that up and do really well. Now, a lot of what you'll see here is not terrain, and I'm sorry about that. I know a lot of people come here for terrain, but what's really important to me at the moment is trying to make some money on the side. So I used to have an online business selling some of my woodwork stuff. Unfortunately, now that I can't access my workshop there, I don't have that little stream of income anymore, so I am making it up now with this. Some of it I'm making up with the laser cutter here, and some of these projects are fantastic. I can't show you everything I've made because honestly I've sold quite a few things as I've made them. They've been really popular and a lot of people like this sort of stuff. So you've got flat art pieces, obviously, like your tree of life and things like the owl here. A lot of people really enjoy this sort of stuff. It's great to just hang on the wall. I mean, you can get a bit more specific if you want something like Darth Vader, and I'll show you a quick clip of one I made. The great thing about these is you can really do a lot with your own creativity. So cutting this out takes, maybe an hour and a half. And then from there you can paint it, you can do whatever you want with it. You can really make some of these your own, which is what I did with, so I found on Thingiverse these clock faces. So there's quite a range of different themes and stuff. And all you need to do is cut this out and add a clock mechanism to the back. And I'll show you a couple of photos of the ones that I sold for those. This was actually just a little piece I did. It was just testing out some of this paint application here. Obviously, I've made some things like paint stands here. These are really simple and really quick to make up. And the xTool laser cutter has a pretty standard sized laser cutting bed, which is around about 400 by 430 millimeters, which is, like I said, fairly standard these days. This was one of the layered pieces I did. Like I said, you can really add your own touches to any of this sort of stuff. I've just painted this. Painted these layers different so that it looks kind of cool. When it came to glass, I really loved this. Now this was actually a clock face that I bought. I was doing some clocks for my woodworking, and the mechanisms in these things were actually cheaper than buying the mechanism on their own. So I bought a few of these little clock faces here and ripped out the guts for the clock pieces, and turns out I was left with the glass and surround. So what I've done there is I've actually painted just with some standard acrylic airbrush paint. I've just painted the back of the glass and then etched it with the xTool laser engraver there, and as you can see, that is super cool. I love this one. This is just to give you a bit of a reference. This is the same design engraved onto a piece of plywood. You can see just by changing the materials, you've got a world of possibilities there. So this is just a dragon lantern. This was another really cool one. I really enjoy this piece. Really simple to make. And this one here is actually, this might be a bit hard to see, but this is a night light for my daughter's room. So again, another Alice in Wonderland. So I've just wired that up with some standard little fairy lights on the copper wires there. And when we set that up in a room on the wall, it actually shines through really nicely, and you'll see that in some of the clocks I did as well, which is really important to me because I do need that side income at the moment. I need side hustles to make pay the bills. So appreciate everyone watching the video and supporting the channel in any way that you do. Thank you very much to my Patreon supporters. You guys are absolutely keeping me moving forward at the moment, especially as I slowly try to recoup some of my workshop tools and stuff like that. Thank you again for watching. If you enjoy the video, like and subscribe, that helps. You guys take it easy, and I'll be back very soon with some updates and definitely some terrain videos because I have some of those in the works at the moment. Thanks again. See you next time.